Alright, Soldier. He's one of the most well-rounded characters in the game, so I guess it's no surprise that a lot of people main him. No, like, seriously, a lot of people main Soldier. It's like Cloud in Smash 4. Either you main him, or you've got him in your back pocket and you can play him if you need to. Now, since there are so many people about to get mad at me for talking about a negative, pre-existing stereotype for their favorite weapon, I should probably do that whole disclaimer thing again now, shouldn't I? So, stereotypes don't apply to everyone. So, for example, if you use the Criticola, that doesn't necessarily make you an asshole. It's just that basically everybody thinks you're an asshole. Okay? Okay, let's begin. The rocket launcher. It's powerful, it's reliable, and it's great for pretty much any situation. This is another one of those stock weapons that's widely used by almost every soldier, so it's really difficult to peg a stereotype for. The stereotype really depends on the soldier's choice of secondary and melee, since honestly this doesn't really say anything specific.
If you use the original, you're probably entirely too fascinated by dick jokes. We're talking like 5th grade dick jokes here. There are 3 kinds of people who use the original. There's dick joke guy, there's I'm stuck on Pogo and Jump Academy guy, and there's I'm sick of the stock rocket launchers bullshit guy. Like, these guys love to tell you all about how the rocket comes out of the middle of the screen, not the side. Wow, fun facts. The first time I saw this rocket launcher, my friend was using it, and he said, it shoots straight, it looks cool, and it sounds cool. Just like my dick. I was like, that's cool and all, but mine is black, and it's curved slightly to the right, and it works fine for me, so what do you want me to say?
All I'm saying is there's a reason this weapon has nicknames like the direct shit, the direct miss, or the best melee weapon in the game. This is the first weapon that I can safely say is definitely a war pig. Now, I started using this term when I was making hat stereotypes. It's based off the hat for the soldier, the war pig. The stereotype for this hat was that players wearing it always overestimated how good they were at the game. And then I discovered that a bunch of other hats had this stigma, so I just started calling them all war pigs. Now, as far as weapons go, this is one of the best examples of a war pig. Players using the direct miss usually think that they're way better than they really are. Now, that's not to say they're all bad. There are definitely some people who use the direct shit who are good, but those guys probably think that they're the best thing to grace TF2's server since Lenny Binds, so... Hey, you. Yeah, you. Hey, has this ever happened to you?
I keep dying because my medic girlfriend isn't online pocketing me. This game sucks. TF2's dead.
Well, fear not. The bad box, the black box, is for you. Now, for the low price of 1 rocket plus any and all sense of dignity that you might have left, you can run headlong into danger without fear. Although, let's be honest, you're still gonna play like a little bitch and never take any risks whatsoever. Okay, so this guy doesn't take the game seriously at all. You can usually find them on Hightower, Upward, or Harvest, but they're almost always running the Market Gardener. Sometimes they'll run other melee weapons to mean, but regardless, these guys are usually loved or hated. If you understand what fun is and you don't take the game too seriously, then you probably think they're pretty alright. However, if you take the game as seriously as a fucking national emergency every time you play, you're probably not gonna like them very much, and you're also probably going to circle jerk about them on r/GF2. This weapon used to be a huge crutch, since the main upside was the projectile speed, which made it easier to hit your shots, but the damage penalty was ultimately a hindrance to players who could, actually aim with stock. But now that you've got the extra rocket, well, it's arguable, I guess. These days, you usually see players with the Liberty Launcher who want to Trollger, but still want a backup damage-based item for when they inevitably suck at Trollger. So this weapon seems like a meme weapon at first glance, but since the recent buff to its reload speed, some people actually consider it to be competitively viable, which I guess is debatable, but since I don't really play comp, I'm not in a position to say. That said, players who use the Cowmangler casually will probably use the charge shot way too much. Although I can't blame them really, it's satisfying as hell to pull off. So there are two types of beggars soldiers, those who understand how to overload jump, and those who just unlock the weapon and don't know what it does. The first type is pretty scary and absolutely infuriating to play against, especially when you get killed by the bullshit projectile deviation. I mean, like, how do you dodge a soldier's rockets when even the soldier doesn't know where they're going? Now, the second type of beggar soldiers are actually really funny to play against because half the time they'll miss, and the other half of the time they'll just blow themselves up. This person almost always uses the airstrike with the base jumper, which means they're basically free food for your strange weapons. It's actually a really good weapon for hybrid soldier, since running it with the gunboats actually gives you rocket jumps for like 15 health each. Plus, the increased firing speed while rocket jumping can let you do some crazy shit, but I almost never see people doing this. It's always just the base jumper. Now again, stock weapons usually have a bunch of different stereotypes. So for soldier, let's go through them one by one. So you've got the I just installed the game and I didn't play the tutorial so I don't realize that I have a shotgun soldier. You've got the pocket soldier, of course. The I hate pyros soldier. The I suck at market gardening so I have to use the shotgun as a crutch for whenever I inevitably miss soldier. And of course the I want to use the direct hit but I can't actually aim it soldier. The reserve shooter is always infuriating to play against, but when it's used on soldier, it's a little bit more respectable. Now that you aren't punished for jumping or walking on stairs, you have to force your target into the air with a rocket in order to get the mini crit, which means they are usually at least semi-good at rocket placement and not just a brain-dead fun hater who abuses stun mechanics and faster switch speeds to get easy kills. Man, talking about the Bison just makes me really sad. I mean, it wasn't even that good to begin with, but now Valve has just completely neutered the weapon to the point where it can't even be used as a meme gun. If you see somebody using the Bison, chances are they're just really hoping for Valve to restore the old Bison. Come on, Valve, come on, just let us have this, please.
Now, the one main group of people that I personally tie in gunboats with, two words, tryhard roamers. Now, what is a tryhard roamer? They're a person that probably wants to play or does play roamer in a competitive setting, and then so they practice this, roamer aspect with, pubs. They join a pub game, usually a 12v12 casual game, equip the gunboats, whatever, primary weapon they want, and they just bomb, and they bomb, and they bomb, and they bomb. You'll see them doing their little rollouts, maybe some CP process, roll out to mid, get to mid, do a quick little bomb into midpoint. Not gonna say it's always successful, but it happens. Now, before you say I'm fibbing, let me just let you know, I am literally this person, so I think I know what I'm talking about. Just throwing that out there.
Man-treads are the secondary weapon of choice for Trollger. You don't really see it anywhere else since it's, kind of shit at everything else. Maybe more people would use it if they gave it a buff, or a function to reduce fall damage, or something. But as of right now, you really only ever see this used as a meme. Which means that anybody using it can pretty safely be placed in either the I'm not taking this seriously category, or the I have no idea what I'm doing category. So if you look up team player in the dictionary, you'll find this guy's picture. This is a very common banner to use in MVM, and it's an amazing buff to pair with an uber charge. But since it doesn't have a passive effect like the conch or the backup, you won't really see it used too much by players who only care about themselves. If you're a medic and you see a buff banner soldier during setup time, stick close to him, because I guarantee he's gonna stick close to you. Now, there are two ways that you can use the Conjurer. You can use it how it was intended, as a support banner that speeds up your teammates and allows them to heal back damage they deal, which makes it ideal to pair with a Kritzkrieg. Or you can use it with the black box because you're a campy little shit who can't stay alive without a medibeam on your ass 24/7. So this is low-key an amazing banner. The problem is nobody ever notices it. The buff banner gives mini crits and the conch gives speed, but the backup really doesn't give you a noticeable effect until you start taking damage. Like, lots of people would realize, I got that kill because of the buff banner, but nobody's gonna go and say, I didn't die there because of the battalion's backup. So players who use this banner are probably team players, just like those with the buff banner, but they don't really care about the recognition. They just wanna help the team no matter what, which honestly I respect the shit out of. Well, there are three basic stereotypes for this. There's the I'm using this with the airstrike soldier, the I'm using this with any other primary because I don't understand how easy of a target I am soldier, and the I can't market garden so I have to use this as a crutch soldier. I mean, sure, this weapon can be fun to use if you know how to airstrafe and rocket jump, but let's be honest, most soldiers that use this don't know how to do that. Okay, so the stock melee for soldier is just really, really not good. It's so bad, dude. You could be using the escape plan, or the market gardener, or the whip. There are just like so many better options to use. So if you see a soldier with a stock shovel, you can assume that they just installed the game, or they have a strange one and they feel obligated to use it because of that. Now, this isn't used nearly as much as the escape plan, mostly because you've got two way better ways of dealing damage, so why would you use something that would only help with that when you are at really low health and have to get really close to them? Just equalizer soldiers probably just got it from a weapon drop and don't understand that it's not really good. Also, it's worth noting that people really like to taunt kill with this. Yes, you can do it with the escape plan too, but people just seem to do it more with the equalizer for some reason. I don't know.
まさかそのとっておきというのは。いいか、息が止まるまでとことんやるぜ。息が止まるまでだとどういうことだ。逃げるんだよ。やっぱりそうだった。
Okay, in all seriousness, this is a really common choice for soldiers who take the game seriously, since it offers an amazing, well, escape plan. So if you see a soldier with the escape plan, you can probably guess that they're tryharding. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a good thing to keep in mind. So the disciplinary action is a weapon that's really good with a team who knows what they're doing. It's also the weapon of choice for a team player. You'll see this used pretty often with a banner, since the loadouts that it gets used in are usually centered around support. This is the ideal soldier weapon. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. No, I'm not biased. What are you talking about? Peak performance. Okay, so this is a really common melee choice, and players who use it will probably try to use it constantly, even when it's in their best interest to use, well, literally any other weapon in your current loadout. So if there's a soldier on the other team with a market gardener, he's absolutely going to try to use it on you. Whether or not he hits you, well, that's kind of up in the air. That's all the weapons for soldier. Well, all of them besides the multi-class ones that didn't have any other stereotype attached to it. Think like panic attack, pain train, etc. So, pyro is next, which should be fun? Maybe? We'll see. A good thing to remember is that the stereotypes are not based on my own personal opinion, although you can probably tell that that factors in a little bit. I also base them on input from, well, everybody. I look at my Twitter, my Steam group, the YouTube comments, all that stuff. It all plays a role in what I talk about for a certain weapon. So make sure to let me know what you think of Pyro's weapons. I do look at it. Other than that, I think that's it. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.